Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 12, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. And this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, December 11th, 2020. COVID-19 updates. Provincial public health order extended into the new year. The Manitoba government has extended its public health orders related to COVID-19 until January the 8th, 2021. Premier Brian Pallister and Dr. Brent Roussin, Manitoba's Chief Provincial Public Health Officer, announced the extension on Tuesday, December the 8th. The existing critical red level restrictions will continue with some modifications. The most notable of these changes include allowing thrift stores to open with some capacity limits, the allowance of drive-in events as a temporary measure subject to compliance with the restrictions, clarifying the operation of food banks and food hamper services, adding school supplies as an essential item under the restrictions to retail services. A seasonal change to the order will also be included to allow for the sale of holiday decorations. An updated list of items deemed essential are posted on the provincial website. Additional COVID updates from the province can be seen on page 2. The Manitoba government will provide $7.7 million in support to personal care homes to address costs related to COVID-19. Eligible costs include those related to staffing, enhanced cleaning procedures, and the move to the one-site model, which means that personal care home staff will only work at that particular care home, where in the past staff have worked at different care homes on different days. The province will provide one-time funding for the first 2 quarters of 2021 and for the remaining quarter of 2021 thereafter. About $7.7 million in funding has been provided to regional health authorities for the first 2 quarters, the minister noted. A new initiative from the province will enable people to stay home and enjoy creative, cultural, artistic, and fitness activities. The Safe at Home Manitoba Grant Program was announced on Monday, December the 7th. This grant will provide $3 million in funding to a wide variety of organizations and individuals who are able to produce free programming for Manitobans to stay safe at home, such as live streaming of the performing arts, cooking classes, at-home fitness programs, and home-based art programs for children. Applicants for the grant are eligible to apply for up to $50,000 per project. Several individuals and businesses from across the province have been fined this week for not following the Manitoba government's COVID-19 enforcement rules. In total, 285 warnings and 85 tickets were issued between November 30th and December 6th. This week's results include 9 $5,000 tickets to business and 53 $1,296 tickets to individuals. There were also 15 failure to wear a mask fines levied at $298 each. A total of $122,046 in fines were issued last week. Since enforcement efforts began in April, a total of 913 warnings and 450 tickets have been issued, resulting in more than $683,000 in fines to businesses and individuals. Over the course of a recent 7-day period from Thursday, December 3rd to 9th, there have been 144 new COVID-19 cases reported within the Prairie Mountain Health Region. Last week, there were 88 new cases reported over the course of 7 days. The total cases in Prairie Mountain are 1,201, with 983 of those recovered, 194 currently active, and 24 deaths. Brandon has the most active cases as of Wednesday, December the 9th, at a number of 98. White Mud, meanwhile, which encompasses Neepawa and surrounding communities, has an active count of 3. The Winnipeg region currently has the most active COVID-19 cases with 4,052, while the Northern Health Region has the second most active cases, 439, as of December 9th. Local help helping local. It doesn't get more local than this. A local business supporting local businesses. On November the 12th, Rob Smith & Son Backhoe and Trucking Limited announced on social media that a draw would be held every Monday, awarding winners with a $250 gift certificate for a local business of their choosing. In the post, the business stated, "We have realized how truly lucky we are to be able to stay up and running during these trying times, and would like to give back to the small businesses within the community and surrounding area that have been shut down." Administrator Andrea Smith, who came up with the idea, provided details to the banner and press. She said, "I honestly spent the weekend trying to rack my brain for ways to help out local businesses, especially with the move to Code Red and Christmas being a very busy time for these businesses. Being shut down would be so hard for them, so I decided to do a draw for 4 weeks, giving away $250 per week, totaling $1,000. To enter, all were asked to comment on the post with their favorite locally owned business within the area in Neepawa, Gladstone, or Minnedosa that has been impacted by COVID-19. The first draw was made on November the 16th, with draws continuing until December 21st. According to Smith, the response was amazing. What started as a draw with 6 entries soon exploded and became an event with 546 names entered. It didn't stop there. That same evening, Smith received an email from John's Electric in Neepawa. They donated $500 to the cause, and then the donations just kept coming in. Within a week, I raised $10,250 to give back to the communities of Gladstone, Neepawa, and Minnedosa, said Smith. And she goes on to say, "It honestly brought me to tears. I just couldn't believe it. I was totally overwhelmed by the generosity of individuals and businesses in our area. We are so very lucky to have such a wonderful community." Due to the influx of donations received, 7 draws of $250 are being made each week, though Smith's original hope was to help the businesses affected by Code Red status. As people signed up and the community began to donate, she says she realized it wasn't just for the businesses. People need this right now. When we do the draw and I call people, you would be surprised at the amount of people who are so happy and thankful. I had one person tell me that I made their day. People are just so thankful. I look forward to Mondays. I think everyone in our office does. Smith extends her thanks to all of the individuals and businesses who donated to make this possible, as well to Hallie Middleton for keeping track of all those who entered. This initiative has inspired other businesses such as John's Electric Limited via its Dauphin branch to begin similar events. Sharing a brief comment on behalf of the business, Kathy Ford stated, "We have had a great response there." Mild weather helping construction efforts on Kinsman Courts 2. A highly anticipated new seniors housing complex in Neepawa appears to be right on schedule. Construction of a 5-story development on Davidson Street, known as Kinsman Courts 2, has moved past the initial foundation work and has started making very impressive progress on the floor and wall construction. Grant Lucan, president of Neepawa Kinsman Senior Citizens Housing Incorporated, said the construction has greatly benefited from the recent milder weather. It's pretty close to on schedule. We were backed up a bit, but because the weather has been so good in the last few months, particularly in November, which was phenomenal, the guys are working really hard 6 days a week. The concrete people and the framers are doing a wonderful job. Lucan indicated that all of the lower level concrete work is completed, as is the installation of the plumbing system, which is hooked up to the town's main water supply. The project is waiting for Manitoba Hydro to come in to do the main service for both the new and existing Kinsman buildings, though that is expected to occur soon. Lucan added that it's good to be able to walk through the site at this point in time and see it really starting to take shape. The walkthrough is phenomenal. It's really nice to walk through and see it come from paper to actual fruition. There's now a wall up where you thought that's where the wall should go. I walked through the second floor, which will be the first floor of the suites. I was really impressed with how big the bathrooms and doorways are. We had made those types of plans in the concept, but now we're seeing it in real life. It'll be very easy to maneuver for walkers and wheelchairs, stated Lucan. And it goes on to say, the current expectations are that the building will be able to be completed and completely closed in by the end of January. That timeline will, however, be dependent on the weather conditions, as any type of extreme cold spell or snowstorm can hinder progress. Lucan said that while they've been lucky with the weather so far, eventually that luck will run out. It's bound to get cold and we're going to get snow, but the sooner we're able to get it closed in, the better. As for inquiries into purchasing into Kinsman Courts 2, Lucan stated that applications are currently available from the front desk at the Stride Credit Union building in Neepawa. A PDF copy of the paperwork is also available online at www.kinsmancourts2.ca. The website also features additional information, including artist renderings of the facility and blueprints of the suite layouts. Lucan noted that the application process will be a first-come, first-served basis. So if you are the first one to apply, you'll be the first one that we bring in for an interview, said Lucan. Even if you are not 100% sure that you want to move in, please make an application out. We want to get as many people in this application process as we can. And then when the time comes, when we're ready to move in and give them a move-in date and everything, we'll bring them in to talk. Anyone interested in additional details can contact 431-351-0611 or email kinsmancourts2@yahoo.com. In early June, Kinsman broke ground on Kinsman Courts 2, a 5-story building that will feature 48 suites for couples or individuals. It'll also include a fully staffed kitchen, wellness center, and expanded parking capacity. The new building will also be connected to the original Kinsman Courts building through a fully enclosed walkway. The current timeline for construction completion is set for mid-2021. This is an article by Ken Kingdon, Moments in Riding Mountain Christmas Concerts. Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet, wrote a tale of his remembrances of Christmases past. His is a wonderful story of that golden time of childhood when, as Thomas writes, every Christmas was a white Christmas. It was the same on the Kingdon farm. Christmas was a time of endless snows in the 1970s, with crystal clear nights, flushed faces, and frozen toes. It was marked by bowls of mixed nuts and Christmas oranges, of heady trips to Brandon where we could order a Big Mac and shop in the mall. Christmases were also marked by the annual school concert and by the somewhat less anticipated Christmas school reenactment of the nativity scene. It was as it still is, a curious time of time warps. At 8 years of age, I hadn't heard of Einstein's theory of relativity, yet time seemed to be governed by special Christmas rules. It was a mysterious mix of the days passing at a crawl, with each minute an hour, each hour like a day, but at the very same time jumping forward at light speed. The annual school Christmas concert provided an example of this distorted time. The teacher would announce the year's play selection. Immediately, time slowed over the next month with rehearsals, prop building, and searching for just the right costume, and the hours unraveled at the pace of chilled molasses. Yet those 30 days would disappear in an instant, and the big day was upon us. We nervously ran to our classrooms, disoriented at seeing the suddenly unfamiliar school by night, leaving our parents to find their way to their seats. The younger grades would be called to perform ahead of us, tick, 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 and then magically we would be on the stage in front of a gym full of parents and grandparents, made too hot by the realization that we had blurted out our only line, 2 scenes too soon. Then, like victims of an alien abduction, we would regain consciousness back in our homerooms, the sound of applause still echoing in our ears. We settled in to watch Christmas movies, not fully understanding that the big event was over for another year. Looking back, I suppose that I was always one of the several class clowns. The Christmas concert was something I looked forward to, perhaps because I thought I could expand my audience, and I always hoped against hope for a speaking part. However, I suspect that the teachers were wise enough to never give me a lead part, rightfully fearing how far off the rails I would take Santa's Christmas Dilemma, or A Year a Russian Spy Attempted to Organize Santa's Elves, or whatever the play was that year. Don't judge us on our selection of plays. We were still in the midst of the Cold War. The 1970s were still an interesting mix of church and state in the Kingdon family. Admittedly, I was a reluctant theologian, but the liturgical year hosted 2 events that I looked forward to. The June Sunday school picnic that ended the year with ice cream cups scooped out by those raspy wooden spoons, and the Christmas play. Sometime after the school Christmas concert, the Sunday school would begin the process of preparing for reenacting the nativity scene for Christmas service. Dad was a stalwart supporter of the Basswood United Church, so he kept most of the props stored at the farm during the 335 days when they weren't being used. All summer long, we would catch glimpses of the little cradle made of birch branches stored high up in the rafters of the garage, or maybe the shepherd's hooks constructed of old broom handles, wire hangers, and brown stockings. It was a wondrous day when Dad finally lifted down the cradle, tightened the screws that held it together, and fitted it with fresh straw. Soon to follow was the assigning of the parts for the play. I suspect that the roles were based on age and acting experience. Small children were given the duty of playing the menagerie of domestic and exotic animals. Surly pre-teenagers became the shepherds, the miserly innkeeper, and, of course, the wise men bearing gifts. The main players, Mary and Joseph, were selected from that cadre of actors who were old enough to sit still and look holy, but young enough to take their roles seriously. I can't even remember how events unfolded on the big night. I suspect that there were a lot of restless cows, sheep, and camels in the stable as the minister read out the gospel according to St. Luke, and we all sang a few hymns. What I do recall as one of the wise men is the sweat trickling down my face, yet again overdressed in someone's worn-out housecoat with the tea towel firmly held in place on my head by one of my mother's fancy silk scarves rolled into a band. Regardless, Basswood's United Church would be full and shiny faces. Children, adults would all be waiting for the appointed time when the baby doll would appear in the manger and the Christmas pageant would be complete and we could all go home. I still remember the smell of candles, the rustling of the congregation as they sat in the pews, and the sight of neighbors from near and far gathered in a little church in a little town, on what always seemed to be the coldest, darkest night of the year. And in this year of years, when concerts will be few and far between, it is Linus who says it best at the end of A Charlie Brown's Christmas. For behold, I bring unto you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. And who doesn't need a little bit of joy this year? Merry Christmas, everyone. Neepawa youth wins Agribition judging competition. A local grade 9 student brought home top prize in the intermediate category of a national competition. Madison Robertson of Neepawa participated in the Canadian Western Agribition judging competition, which took place virtually this year, and won first place in her category. While Robertson didn't see any of the other competitors' presentations going into it, she felt she did a good job. However, she was not expecting to get first place. She said, "It was kind of a big surprise for me," the results, adding that it was really exciting. She scored a total of 283 out of a possible 300 points. Entries for the competition were open from October 15th to November 8th, with the results being announced the last week of November when Agribition normally takes place. The judging competition held annually at Agribition is open to all Canadian youth involved in agriculture. In the intermediate level, the competitors are required to judge market hogs, light horses, bred heifers, and bull calves. Because of the pandemic, the in-person exhibition could not take place. Judging was done virtually, with entrants looking at photos of 4 animals in each category and placing them. In the intermediate age group, competitors also had to submit a video of themselves orally stating the reasons for their placement of the heifers and bulls. It was great that Agribition did this because a lot of shows didn't really have any virtual competitions, Robertson said. Robertson has some experience in judging competitions through the Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club and the Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup, as well as the Canadian Charolais Youth Association Conference. This was, however, her first time entering the competition at Agribition, as well as her first time judging animals other than cattle and her first time judging virtually. It was a little tricky because you couldn't see the animal right in front of you, she said, of the virtual format. Robertson noted that she had done a virtual judging clinic, but she's never done a competition like this before. It was a pretty good experience to get out of just judging cattle, to do light horses and hogs, she added. Lansdowne Rec receives a check. The Neepawa Banner and Press paid it forward to help out a local organization recently. In early November, the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation performed random acts of kindness, giving out checks to some of its supporting businesses to donate to a nonprofit of their choosing. The Banner and Press chose to gift their $200 check to Lansdowne Recreation, as several of the staff live in the Lansdowne area, and publisher Ken Waddell was involved with the group in the early days. The municipality of Glenella Lansdowne recently sent a thank you note to the Banner and Press saying, "We thank you for the donation towards the Lansdowne Recreation. Your consideration and generosity is greatly appreciated." And this is a picture of the Neepawa Banner and Press publisher Ken Waddell, the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation Community Share Bear, and foundation member Ann Kaharski. Town invites residents to light up their communities. The time for holiday cheer is drawing near. Although Neepawa's Parade of Lights cannot be done this year, residents and businesses can participate in a different fashion. The town of Neepawa has partnered with the Neepawa District Chamber of Commerce, Neepawa Tourism, Neepawa Settlement Services, and High Life in inviting all those in the town to take part in the Light Up Neepawa initiative. Residents can participate by spiffing up their homes or windows, and business owners their stores with lights and other exterior decorations. Town lights and decor were put up on November the 12th and are planned to be kept on display until March 2021 to spread joy and positivity. All those who participate are encouraged to do the same and share a photo of their decorations on social media with the hashtags Light Up Neepawa and Town of Neepawa. Get out and enjoy a walk or cruise around town with your family, said Councillor Brian Headley at the town meeting held on December the 1st. Help add some light to our community. Neepawa isn't the only town inviting its residents to get festive. The town of Carberry is putting on a similar event to light it up, the Light It Up contest. In a similar fashion to Neepawa's event, residents of Carberry are invited to decorate their houses to spread the holiday spirit for a chance to win $250 in gift cards. To participate in the contest portion of the event, decorators must register via email at rec@townofcarberry.ca or by phone at 204-834-6623. The contest starts on December 11th with prizes awarded on December the 21st. We thought an event like this would be a good way to spread the Christmas cheer in a COVID-friendly way, said Lindsay Michaels, Manager of Leisure Services for Carberry and Area Recreation. This way we can promote the holidays and Christmas spirit while still maintaining safe distance and health protocols. The event is being run by Carberry's Service for Seniors and the Carberry and Area Recreation, with help from Carberry, North Cypress, Langford Community Development, sponsors Falk Pharmacy, Myers Quality Meat and Groceries, Guild Insurance Brokers, Westoba Credit Union, and Spud City Food Mart Limited have pitched in to provide prizes for winners of the decorating contest. But decorating isn't the only way to win one of those prizes when names are drawn. Carberry is also hosting a town-wide scavenger hunt to search for holiday-related items. A scavenger hunt list with clues for items will be posted on the Carberry and Area Parks and Recreation's social media on December 11th. Once people have found the items, they will send a picture of their finds to Recreation, said Michaels. Once sent in, their name will be put into a draw to win some prizes. He added, while the holiday season is going to look different this year, we have to stay apart for now. We are all in this together. While partaking in these events, all are required to be mindful of and abide by COVID-19 health and safety guidelines. Neepawa considers change to town logo. This is our old one, and this is possibly our new one. The town of Neepawa is considering a brand new logo, but wants the public's feedback on the potential change. During a town meeting held on Tuesday, December 1st, Council acknowledged that it was looking at a possible update to the community's brand. The current logo that Neepawa uses features a dark yellow cornucopia and wavy blue line, which symbolizes the White Mud River. That logo was adopted by the town back in 2008. The current review would see the potential adoption of a logo similar to that of Neepawa Tourism, with just a minor altercation to differentiate the two. The phrase, "where stories take a beautiful turn," would be used exclusively by tourism, while the town would use "land of plenty." The current branding for Neepawa Tourism was unveiled in 2018 as part of the community's effort to bring more travelers to the community and to improve Neepawa's tourism profile on a provincial and national level. Neepawa Mayor Blake McCutcheon said that before any type of change would be considered, the council and administration wants to hear from the public and get their perspective on that matter. The tourism board came to council and asked if we would be interested in adopting their logo to create a consistent brand for the town of Neepawa, said McCutcheon. town officials decided that the best way to move forward on this is to get some feedback from the community. An online post was placed on the town of Neepawa's social media accounts on Monday, December the 7th, asking for input on the potential change. Early response indicated a preferences for the existing logo, with a strong positive impression for the use of the cornucopia. Anyone interested in sharing their perspective on the suggested change is asked to email Neepawa at wcgwave.ca or call 204-476-7600. Any type of decision to either make the change or maintain the status quo is expected to be made in January. "21 days of giveaways announced. Due to the efforts of COVID-19, Shop Local initiatives appear to be gaining traction. Businesses are supporting other locally owned businesses that have been affected by the change to Code Red status by putting on draws, events in which people can enter for the chance to win a gift certificate for their favorite locally owned businesses. One such initiative was started recently by Neepawa's own Century 21 Realty agents, Katie and Troy Much. They have recently been added to that list. The Realty agents announced their event, 21 Days of Giveaways, via social media on November the 30th. Katie provided the banner and press with details on behalf of the pair. We've randomly selected 21 businesses in the Neepawa area and purchased 21 $25 gift cards from each of them, said Katie. These are businesses that have been affected in one way or another by the impact of COVID-19 restrictions. The 21 Days of Giveaways is a daily draw which began on December the 1st and runs until December 21st. Katie and Troy take turns making a post on their social media each evening, through which contestants can enter by liking the post and commenting to answer that day's question. Those individuals' names are then entered for the next day's draw at 4 p.m., when a name will be randomly selected from a bucket and a color wheel spun to determine the winner's prize. All those wishing to enter the draws must re-enter each evening for a chance to win the next night's prize. Any who have won are still welcome to re-enter for a chance to win again. Our whole idea behind this is to give back and encourage everyone to shop local this holiday season and beyond, said Katie. COVID-19 has been super hard on all the small businesses, and if we want to see them survive this pandemic, we must take action now to help them out. Katie added there has been a great response on Facebook, and many people have been participating in the fun. All names from previous draws are being kept for an extra giveaway on the last day. The extra prize will be something to help satisfy the winner's seasonal sweet tooth, a dainty tray. Note, the 21 Days of Giveaways is just one of the initiatives the Banner and Press has seen in the area. Readers should keep an eye out for similar initiatives to help local support local. Now, local school divisions feel well prepared for January remote learning. School divisions across the province are working to make sure they're ready for the weeks following Christmas break. Last Wednesday, December 2nd, the province announced that starting after school Christmas holidays, January 4th, grades 7 to 12 would be mandated to remote learning, with the option for kindergarten to grade 6 students to learn remotely if parents choose. Many schools and divisions have been preparing for the possibility of mandatory remote learning since they started planning their new school year. School divisions in the West Bend area include Beautiful Plains School Division, BPSD, and Turtle River School Division, TRSD, are no exception. Our staff have been planning for many different variations of remote learning since before the 2020-2021 school year began, stated Jason Young, Beautiful Plains superintendent. He said, I feel extremely confident that our division and our staff are ready and prepared to do whatever it takes to offer a quality education to our students. Although remote learning has its challenges and it is not ideal for our students, parents, or staff, we are ready to make the most of a difficult situation. In Turtle River, we have been preparing for remote teaching since school began, said Superintendent Bev Sismesko. Our dedicated staff members have been working very hard responding to the needs of the pandemic and the continual changing directives as health conditions dictate. Young explained that at Beautiful Plains, they structured their school's plans around getting as much in-person learning as possible for as long as possible to get a good foundation for students should remote learning become necessary. They have also already been using the online tools they have available, so students will be familiar with those formats when they don't have the teachers around to help. Our students were scheduled to attend classes every day to build connections with peers and staff. We ramped up the availability of technology in our system to allow for more online instruction. We acquired internet connectivity options for our students who may have not had this in place in the event we needed remote instruction, said Jason Young. In Turtle River School Division schools, Sismesko noted that their students have already been learning remotely or preparing for remote learning. Our families and communities have also been very supportive and understanding of the changing conditions. We are confident that our division will be ready for remote learning come January. Many of our staff have been teaching students in class as well as remotely for an extended period of time now, Young added. This has challenges without a doubt, but our staff have continued to adapt and put the needs of our students as their priority. When asked whether Beautiful Plains School Division agrees with the province's decision, Young noted, we will continue to believe that the best place for our students is in school with their peers and students. With that said, we also recognize that the pandemic has made all of us make changes and sacrifices to do what is in the best interest of public health. Sismesko weighed in, saying that Turtle River School Division staff are willing to do whatever the health officials say will keep the schools safest. We always follow the lead of Manitoba Education with direction from public health. Turtle River is supportive of quality public education and agrees that schools are the safest place for students and conducive for the optimum learning environment. Our staff members want to follow all of the necessary suggestions and rules in order to keep students, families, and communities safe and in school, learning as much as possible and supporting students. Sismesko added that Turtle River thanks their staff and parents, guardians, and caregivers for the support they've given during this year, but she wanted to spotlight the effort the students are putting into staying safe while learning. She said, I would like to highlight how amazing students have been in our division and across the province, learning and working hard to keep everyone safe while continuing to learn in not always ideal situations. Students have done well following the public health rules in schools and maintaining their academic studies, even while some of their more engaging aspects of school have been paused, such as social engagement with friends, sports, and other activities and clubs after school. Students have adapted very well. Young also wanted to express his appreciation for the Beautiful Plains area community's support. We would like to once again thank our staff, our students, our communities for their patience, understanding, and support as we face the challenges of this pandemic together. We are confident that our system and our relationships will be stronger than ever when the pandemic is finally behind us. While local school divisions have taken an optimistic stance about the recent announcement, the Manitoba Teachers Society is stating their disapproval of the province's plans. The group says that requiring only grades 7 to 12 to learn remotely is not going to do anything to increase safety in schools following the holidays. MTS President James Bedford said, if the intent is to reduce transmission of COVID-19 following the holidays, then all schools should be going to Code Red for 2 weeks, he said in recent news release from the Manitoba Teachers Society. This is yet another half-measure approach, and I fail to see how this plan enhances the safety of students and teachers when half the grades are in school for those 2 weeks. In the release, Bedford goes on to say that making it optional for elementary schools only makes it harder on the teachers, as many of them will have to organize both in-person and remote lessons if some parents decide to keep their kids home. This plan places unreasonable demands on teachers and runs the risk of collapsing the entire education system when teachers buckle under the pressure, he says. Bedford concludes by saying, if all students are receiving remote instruction for this period, these issues are resolved. Here and There by Gladwin Scott. Curl Manitoba Executive Director Craig Baker has announced the 2021 Men's and Women's Championships will be held simultaneously at Selkirk Rec Centre February 2nd to 7th. The Scotties, which used to host 16 rinks, has been reduced from 12 to 8 rinks, including one team from each of 4 regions. The other 4 entries will be based on CTRS points leaders. The Viterra men's division has been changed to 16 rinks from 32. COVID-19 restrictions have prevented regional playoffs from occurring on time. Westman men will get 2 berths and the women will only get 1. Curl Canada still plans to host men's, women's, and mixed doubles national championships in Calgary. Therefore, Carberry's Derek Samagalski and Kristen Karwacki of Winnipeg may still get an opportunity to curl in the Nationals. The duo captured the 2020 provincial title. If provincials fails to materialize, Jennifer Jones would represent Manitoba and Jason Gunlison would head to the Nationals as the male counterpart. Hockey Manitoba has confirmed that all 2021 minor provincials, which are usually held in February and March, will be cancelled. Some leagues, example AAA, will hold playoffs where possible. Zach Yando, one of the Plumas Pirates baseball stars, is recuperating from shoulder surgery. Yando has received the Ray Walker Memorial Award as the Santa Clara League MVP several times based on his team's contributions. He was unable to pitch during the 2020 season due to the shoulder health issues. Winnipeg's iconic Hudson's Bay department store, which opened in 1926, closed its doors for good on Monday, November the 20th. It was scheduled to close later in 2021. However, the COVID-19 restrictions caused an earlier closure. The municipality of Killarney Turtle Mountain released their vibrant new logo featuring a distinctive green shamrock on November the 20th across many platforms, including their website and on Facebook and Twitter. The winter roundup of 28 peacocks in Souris is nearly complete. The birds will spend the winter months in a heated barn. The federal government, which extended the American border closure for another month until January 21st, 2021, has announced a projected deficit of $381 billion, partially due to the COVID expenditures. Christmas trees are in higher demand this season. The Carberry Kinsmen normally sell trees, but this year they are not available. The Minister of Education, Kelvin Gertsen, announced on December 2nd that grades 7 to 12 students will move to online remote learning for 2 weeks, January 4th to the 15th, after the normal 2-week Christmas break. He also announced that an extra $185.4 million would be available to school divisions on a per-pupil basis. And finally, in light of Manitoba still being in code red, every event on the Curl Manitoba schedule has been moved back into 2021. The provincial junior event scheduled for Carberry has been postponed from February until spring break in March. The new dates are March 28th to the 31st, 2021. And this week's Carberry community profile is Cameron McMillan. Cameron McMillan was a 2018 Carberry Collegiate graduate with the Governor General's Medal and a 97% average. Currently, she is a third-year engineering student and a member of the University of Manitoba Engineering Student Council, having attended conferences in Montreal and Gimli. Pre-COVID, she was a member of the engineering recreational water polo team, as well as a member of a team that curled in a recreational league in Winnipeg. In her graduating year, she was one of four Manitoba students to receive the prestigious Dr. Dale Iwanako Award for volleyball and academics, and also one of 4 to receive the MHSAA/Manitoba Credit Union Scholar Athlete Award for school sports and academics. A graduating volleyball all-star, McMillan was recipient of the Female Athlete of the Year at Carberry Collegiate with participation in fastball, badminton, curling, basketball, volleyball, and track and field. She was second for Skip Dory Vince's MHSAA Provincial Curling Champions at the PAW in 2015. For 5 years, she was a lifeguard and swimming instructor at the local pool and was the 2020 pool's supervisor. Cameron served as a yearbook editor and was a percussionist for 6 years with the school band program, including a xylophone solo in her final performance. She was involved in the Carberry TADD and math clubs and was a nominee for the Brandon YWCA Young Woman of Distinction Award. People who influenced her were her parents, Brent and Michelle, for their encouragement, motivation, and listening. Since engineering is a male-dominated field, she also looks up to female faculty and students. Future plans after a 5-year engineering degree will involve a career in the biomedical field. New emergency alert system established in Neepawa. A brand new emergency notification system is now up and running in Neepawa. The communications network is known as Connect Neepawa and will aid in keeping residents safe with emergency updates. The alert options available through the system include contacts via phone, email, and/or social media. It is also linked with Canada's National Emergency Alerting System. Over the last 4 years, the town has used an American-based emergency communication system known as Code Red. The newly launched Connect Neepawa uses Canadian technology and provides municipal staff with the ability to send out information to people on a regular basis and on multiple platforms. In a media statement released on Monday, December 7th, Mayor Blake McCutcheon lauded the versatility of the new system. He said, as a municipal government, we have realized that our residents use different platforms to communicate on a daily basis. Some residents are more comfortable receiving texts or viewing on social media, while others still prefer to be informed by a phone call, like myself, said McCutcheon. Connect Neepawa provides our staff with one central platform that can send out messages in any format, and residents can register and declare how they want us to communicate with them. McCutcheon also added that council and staff of the town of Neepawa strongly encourage everyone to sign up to ensure access to have important information that could save a life. People can sign up for the new emergency service online at www.neepawa.ca/connect. And this is the Spruce Plains RCMP report by Corporal Jacobsen. During the week of November 30th to December the 6th, Spruce Plains RCMP dealt with 59 police activities. November the 30th, RCMP responded to a theft of cattle in the municipality of Glenelg, Lansdowne. The matter is still under investigation. Police received reports of theft from a motor vehicle and an attempted break-in and enter to a business, both occurring in the town of Neepawa. On December 1st, RCMP responded to an assault in the town of Minnedosa. Charges were declined by the victim, but charges for breach of conditions were laid. Police assisted with COVID compliance at an event in the town of Gladstone, responded to a commercial alarm in the town of Neepawa, and a family dispute in the town of Minnedosa. On December the 2nd, RCMP responded to a report of a missing person in Clanwilliam. The person was located safely at a friend's residence shortly after. Police conducted various proactive traffic enforcements, engaging with several motorists. On December 3rd, RCMP received reports of an abandoned vehicle in a field in the RM of Oakview. Members attended and learned the vehicle had hit a deer and was to be removed by the owner later. Police conducted a COVID compliance check in the town of Rapid City. Everyone was found to be abiding by the regulations. On December 4th, RCMP responded to several calls for service, including theft of a motor vehicle, suspicious person reports, assault, and a suspected impaired driving. On December the 5th, RCMP responded to a sudden death in the town of Glenelg and assisted with a family dispute in the town of Rapid City. December the 6th, RCMP located an impaired driver in the municipality of Westlake Gladstone as a result of a traffic stop. Police responded to a COVID compliance complaint in the town of Minnedosa, and everyone was found to be abiding by the regulations. RCMP conducted 35 traffic enforcement actions during this reporting period. If you have any information about these crimes or any other crimes, please contact your local RCMP office or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the Neepawa and Minnedosa RCMP detachments advise they will be limiting front counter services at the detachments until further notice. We request that you contact each detachment at Neepawa 204-476-7340 or Minnedosa 204-867-2916 to inquire about criminal record checks or to file a report. Leave a message if needed and it will be checked the following business day. Do not leave a message if you require immediate police assistance. You must dial Neepawa 204-476-7338 or Minnedosa 204-867-2751 or 911 to have a police officer respond to you promptly. And the final article in today's Banner and Press gives back. The Neepawa Banner and Press recently made a donation to the Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic. The donation came from 10% of ad sales in a special medical clinic feature in the October 30th edition of the paper. A total of $804 was handed over to the medical clinic board member, Mary Ellen Clark, and Neepawa and Area Development Corporation representative, Murray Parrott. on Wednesday, November the 26th. And that is it for this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.